If you're one of the many people who was very excited to get their hands on a 199 MBS J Feather Micro, and then you've looked and, oh my gosh, Jayco discontinued it. They didn't. They just gave it new life in the J Feather Air series. Welcome, everybody. My name is Josh, the RV Nerd, here at Bish's RV down at Jayco. And the model numbers aren't that hard to discern. The 199 MBS became the 19 MBS here in the Feather Air series. Why did they do this? Well, one, to simplify their lineup, but two, they literally found a way they could build this RV with a full 8-foot body to give you more space, yet still be lighter weight and lower cost. Literally more RV for less weight and money. That's a really hard proposition to pass up, and it was one that they couldn't. This is a very popular family camping concept. Now, it is a single axle model. If you're like, man, I wish it had two axles. I wish it had a north-south bed instead of east-west. That's called the J Feather 21 MBH. They make that too, but it's bigger, longer, heavier, more expensive if you have a little more limited towing restriction or size preference, or if you want to take a look at like the Baja kind of lifted up package like we're looking at today, that's where the Feather Air family kind of comes in. We have a flopsy, dropsy front east-west Murphy bed, but it is if I'm not mistaken, that's a 60 by 80 True Queen. One of the other benefits of going 8 foot wide, it makes it easier to put the bigger bed in there. They did change from a U-dinette to a 2-bench dinette, but it's actually a rack and pinion slide system, a little bit heavier duty with a little bit better maintenance and service records there. The general construction in terms of materials hasn't changed. We're still a lot of aluminum framing, still a lot of Asdel. We still have that cool little outdoor camp kitchenette, 200 watts of solar up on the roof, the best 2+3 year warranty that you're gonna find out there. The rear receiver hitch on the back, all that stuff is still there. It's just some of the weight and some of the cost is gone, and you're getting a little more space for it. I don't know. Seems pretty solid to me. What do you think, though? Let me know as we go through today. And it's just my opinion. It's subjective. There's things on this RV that I think some people are not going to like as much as the 199 predecessor. There's things that I think people are going to like a lot more. I think overall, people will like it more than they dislike it. I could be totally mistaken. We'll see how everything shakes out. But the decor's been updated just a little bit. J Feather's kind of been flirting with this sort of slight executive gray look for a little while here. They finally pulled the trigger on it. Instead of just the exclusively farmhouse kind of look, still has a very classy look, I think. I do appreciate that curtain right there. I like the breeze across windows on either side of that Murphy sofa. And I want to give them credit for really doing everything they could to maximize storage around that bed area that they possibly could have, above, below, whatever the case may be. The big side stands are also something I really like, giving us plenty of places like set down a dinner plate or, charge your phone, whatever the case might be. J Feather overall has gone to putting essentially the largest windows they could wherever they could. They also have essentially across the board. I've said the word essentially way too much. It's the end of the day. I'm tired. This is like one video to you. I think it's video number 11, 12. I've lost track for me. But they put the blackout roller shades across the line. I almost said essentially again. Good Lord, Josh. Come up with another word. Now, this right here, I could see some people find like fist pumping going, yes! Or fist punching going, no. And I'm not sure which. It might depend person to person. They've gone from a U-dinette to a 2-bench dinette. Here's the funny thing. I personally feel you can actually more easily fit a family of 4 around this. And that sounds weird because if you've never camped, you're like, well, a U-dinette has so much more seating space. Not really, because you can't sit in the corners and your legs start facing and fighting each other. You don't have that here. And it's a floor flush rack and pinion slide, not a step up, either Schwintek or Exact Slide as they used to be. So some people might be glad they changed the dinette and or the slide system or not. I don't know. But those are some of the major changes that went into this. They also have moved the entertainment center straight across from the Murphy sofa to a position that I think is far, far more functional than it was. And at first, I kind of felt like a little annoyed that they did not put a pivoting TV mount on here. And then I thought about it, and I don't know why the TV would ever really need to pivot. You could always do it if you want. But if you forget that TV is sticking out and you close the slide, you're going to bust it. You're going to have a conflict. And by having a flat mount right there, you'll just never have that problem. It just won't be an issue. Solar charge controller and thermostat right down below that. I've been told some folks dislike the location of this thermostat. When the slide closes, it will be kind of blocked, so it's harder for the thermostat to read the true temperature of the air. Pardon me real quick. I'm going to get this bathroom door closed. Although I do want to point out that it actually does have a lock on the bathroom door, which is very, very handy. The kitchenette is still very, very small. The kitchen really has not changed much compared to the predecessor 199. There's just not enough space for it to do anything more than it does. There's no propane oven option or anything like that available. I can tell you that with confidence because they will only buy these counters in one shape. So they purpose built this countertop for a 2-burner north-south stove to give you some countertop prep space. I do like how they didn't shove the stove directly against the refrigerator wall, though. So you do have at least a little bit of a splatter buffer there. You'd probably still want to put something on that wall. Why manufacturers don't, I don't know, guys. I don't know. I'm getting triggered thinking about it. But you get the idea. This is something that has been very popular that Jayco did. They basically built in this magic trick go away bunk ladder right here, which just thumb latches real quick and then she gone if you need it to be. Some people really like that. Some people don't care. People ask me all the time, what's the part number on that? I don't know part numbers. Sorry. But our team can assist you with that. You might notice how you've got the little phone net and charging ports, and upper and lower bunks both not only have the power solutions, but they do have windows that open for ventilation, and they each have their own individual lights and curtains. So overall, I think the touches are done very, very well over here. But let's take a look a little bit deeper inside this thing with our X-ray vision, shall we? And if I sound like I'm about to drop some big swears, it's because I just jabbed my hip into something that I left open to showcase on camera for you here. So I do my own stunts. Great drawer coverage down there, by the way. Very sturdily constructed. Ask me how I know. Moving over here to our 12-volt compressor fridge. Sorry, I sound manic depressive. My mood just changed a lot. I needed to use, the camper's not level. I needed to use the bunk curtains to hold the doors open. And then I looked up here and it looks like this refrigerator door is going through its emo phase. Like, tonight will be the night that I will fall for you. And now I'm tripping over more drawers and I'm angry again. This has just been a wild ride, ladies and gentlemen. I should have pulled the blackout roller privacy shades there over that dinette to kind of better showcase that for you. But I didn't, because I'm just not batting 1,000 today, now am I? By the way, if your dinette does not want to do the big, little, big cushion configuration as I've done here, if like the cushions keep wanting to, let me get up close. If your cushions keep, come on. Well, these didn't want to do it. Okay. If your cushions want to pop up like that, instead of going big, little, big, go little, big. And for some reason, it works. Yeah, this is definitely, this is me at my finest, isn't it, guys? This is just me really knocking out. And that beeping sound is the 12-volt compressor fridge telling me that I left the door open for too long. Or it's a self-destruct sequence, which at this point, I think I might frankly welcome. Gigantic drawer going on under that sofa, which Casper the Ghost is going to use the force to close for me because I, don't have the camper level once again. One thing, this shocked me. Oh my gosh, shut up, fridge. One thing that I was very pleasantly surprised to see, there, I shut the fridge off so it quits beeping, was the size of this overhead cabinet door setup. And the fact that it defies gravity like this to make that easy and functional, that was like a really nice find, I think. Now, how does this bed thing work here? Well, let me tell you how it works. Like a fox, that's how, Mr. Barnaby. This is probably... my editor's probably going to leave me in walking around, whatever. At this point, I'm tripping over stuff. I'm jabbing my hip on things. I'm fumbling over my words worse than usual. The shirt's come untucked. Everything is just, it's like nerd after dark today. You know what? Before I leave, I don't know. I might burn this sucker down. I don't even know. Back to the point at hand. What do we got going on here? Just in case, I have no shoes on the furniture policy. Let me get these out of the way. if it's a little bit of a rainy day, it's not too bad to lounge on. That's not the most comfortable thing. This isn't exactly a sofa, though. It's kind of just a bench, effectively. You could sort of decorate this wall if you wanted to, but is this... I suck with home and garden. Is this called shiplap? Is that what that is? Whatever it is. I think it looks kind of nice. Simple little one-hand lift and lock latch over here. Pop it and lock it. If I'm not mistaken, this is now a 60 by 80 true queen bed. It is, now that I'm looking at it. The predecessor, the 199 MBS J Feather Micro, had a 54, I think, by 80 kind of bed. And what's nice about this here, it's still 80 inches long. So, you know, if I lay on this, my feet don't hang off the bed. Notice I'm not trying to cheat and put my head all the way up to the wall, because you're going to have a pillow here. I'm trying to be realistic about that. And if I engage the core muscles and I sit up here with my chubby dad bod, you see how I could cold cock myself on this thing if I'm on the inside. Now, somebody could look at this and say, why do they do these east-west corner beds so that you have to climb over one another? It's not that they make the east-west corner bed because it's awesome. That's the only way that you can keep the RV shorter. If you want a north-south walk-around bed, you can get that. That's called a J Feather 21 MBH. But it's longer, and it's heavier, and it's more expensive. And that isn't necessarily in everybody's cards. So they make two different versions. One a little bit smaller that we're in, one a little bit bigger that we're not in. Probably hands down my most Emmy Award-winning Murphy bed demo I've ever done. Whatever. This does not have that like move bunk, get out the way sort of cargo system because there's a camp kitchen and a water heater and stuff down here. So they put some netting in place. The netting can come off if you need to. If you fill it full of Jell-O, you have a net full of Jell-O, which is, do people even know who Annette Funicello was anymore? Frankie and Annette? Am I literally just becoming that old man now? Oh my Lord. I'm not even that old, am I? Maybe I am. I don't know. Whatever. Let's talk about ceiling. The RV's got a 6.5-foot ceiling height, which means when I stand in the shower, a little over 6 foot tall, my head's in the bubble. We have some open face storage on the left, but it's thin and it's not insanely deep, so it should actually hold stuff pretty well and be pretty manageable. The space around the toilet is also pretty awesome. You know, you are extremely fluffy friendly down there. And as we work our way up here, one thing it just always looks really sharp to me is when a manufacturer puts a window in the bathroom like that, it just charges the place up. It just makes it look fancy dancy. Now we're going to kill two birds with one stone here. First of all, just to show you the rest of the bathroom real quick, because you're buying the whole camper, you probably want to see it. Secondly, I've closed the slide and put the RV in road mode. And by virtue of the fact that I was able to get back to the bathroom indicates that yes, that is travel accessible. So the bunks, the kitchen, the bathroom, and even the front bed all remain travel accessible and functional. This is actually one of the benefits this RV has that its big brother, the 21 MBH J Feather, does not. This one actually has better roadside function. That might be a problem. So I just discovered a potentially problematic, likely deal breaker for a number of folks. The weights and measures that you're seeing over here on the left side of the screen, those are like the base model brochure weights and measures. Perhaps the concept that these are lighter weight didn't exactly pan out the way it was explained to me, because this one that we're looking at has every available option possibly available on it, which makes me think this is probably the very first 19 MBS that they've built. Manufacturers are required to prove that they can put every option on a camper before they publicize that it's for sale. They have to prove that. Well, I was kind of curious because this has the Baja package and the solar, all the things. Solar's standard, I believe. But I went over here and I took a look at this thing. And when you add all of the upgrades, this only has 600 pounds of available cargo capacity. That is potentially problematic. Absolutely. That is heavier than I was initially led to believe when I began this video. So if I began this thing overhyping and underdelivered, my apologies, That was based on the information I had provided. I may have discovered something to the contrary as I went through this thing. I am definitely man enough to admit where sometimes I have made mistakes and I maybe should have double checked a little bit first. But what's causing that? We are, again, a little bit wider body, and that is a rack and pinion slide system. That's a heavier weight but heavier duty slide system that does tend to hold up better to long-term use and abuse. Now, the Baja package is certainly adding some weight to these. That is something that is available on any of the Jayfeather Air models, but not the tandem axles, just the single axle Jayfeather Airs. It adds that, that aggressive looking tire and it kind of lifts the RV up a little bit. There's a few other things included in the Baja package as well. But if you are going to be kind of getting off the beaten path and going where few have boldly gone before, that might be a thing you want to look at. If you're a park pavement princess like me from Southern Michigan, you don't need all that. So it just totally depends on how you want to camp. Keep in mind, the one that you're shopping around, make sure if it's Baja or not, because that will change the weights and the costs and everything else. The pass-through up here is actually pretty good. You see that it is kind of a U-shaped pass-through. Part of the reason it does that is because these this big box that we're staring at right here, those are the drawers under that Murphy sofa. What is, I just noticed out of the corner of my eye. What is, ooh, hello. I don't know how well this is showing up on camera, but we got a little blue ground effects step light that you can kick on down there. It looks like it's showing up pretty good. I do want to point out that they are using the better grade of stabilizers on this, the rock solid stabilizers. They actually do a better job than traditional scissor jacks. This RV also does not ride on your traditional Lippert I-beam chassis. This is on a Norco huck bolted Z frame. The underbelly is enclosed and they put the biggest awning on here they could. I am not unhappy about that whatsoever. Up there on the roof, just behind the air conditioner, behind the TV antenna, I don't even know how well you're seeing it. You do have your 200-watt factory standard solar package on here as well. Little details, though, that I like to look for. This is stuff that if you've never had a camper, you don't even realize might be missing. But this small black rectangle above the window, that's a stovetop exhaust vent. So that when you're cooking in the RV, you're not cooking yourself out of the RV. That's a nice little feature right there. As is something else that's easy to miss, that 2+3 sticker on the window. It's hard to miss that, but what does that mean? Basically, they've got like double the warranty of anybody else in this class. There's very few others, technically a couple, but very few others that match what Jayco does in terms of warranty coverage and or length here. The capital griddle that's included with this, modestly sized. For one or two people, probably okay, but they leave you room here if you want to replace that after the fact with something a little larger. You could do that. On the back end over here, you do have that 2-inch receiver hitch, which is 300-pound rated, so if you want to add a bike rack or generator tray or something, you could. Just again, keep in mind, you do have a limited cargo capacity available on this thing. And wedged between the receiver hitch and your stabilizer jacks, you actually do have a sewer hose tube down there, so you can keep your black tank sewer stuff separated from everything else. I'm also personally very pleased to report they have included a standard ladder to get you up to the roof instead of that prep only for a telescopic thing. I know that there's benefits to telescopic ladders, but I like the ladder there. But here's a pro tip from your Uncle Josh. Don't strap crap to that ladder. Those ladders are made only for climbing up and down the RV while it is at rest and it has a 250-pound limit. It is not made to have camping chairs and picnic tables or sewer tote tanks strapped to them and bouncing down the road. So keep in mind, if you experience a rear wall leak and you've done any of that, that is 100% going to be a repair that is on you. That is not a warrantable item. Ooh, your gate valves are actually fully enclosed in that underbelly. That's a nice little extended season weather protection feature there. So let me know what you think, everybody. Now, whether you're curious or whether you're serious, if you want to see where we might have one of these parked and what we're asking on a given day, double check the links in the video description. You'll be able to find pricing and availability there, as well as similar floor plans from other builders that I've been able to record. I will say most of which are actually going to be stick and tin builders. Jayfeather right here is one of the very few laminated builders I've seen that is making this floor plan. And why, I don't know, because it's their #1 most popular model. So I don't suspect that's going to change anytime soon. now that it's lighter weight and less money. I can't imagine anyone really being offended by that. I could see some people missing the U-dinette. I could see some people actually preferring a slightly more narrow body for various towing reasons, but overall, I think I think it did move forward. It was 2 steps forward and 1 step back, but I think this one was still progress versus last year. So that's my 2 cents, though. You let me know what you think. Is 2 cents even worth much with inflation nowadays? I don't know. Anyway, when you're ready, we're ready. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.